Hoyt Axton has always been one of my favorite songwriters, ever since I was a kid. It's really not difficult for me to pinpoint why. If I had to sum it up in a single word, that word would be joy. There is a purity to his work, an elegant simplicity and authenticity that I think can only come from true love. Most artists strive their whole lives to find it. Hoyt was born with it. One cannot hear a song like I Love to Sing or Flash of Fire and not know that the man was utterly in love with and consumed by the love of what he was doing. What this means to my ear is that his songs have a depth of feeling and integrity rarely matched in songwriting. His lyric ability was truly remarkable, and his storytelling was legendary. He could make you laugh, cry, think, and then laugh again, sometimes all within the same song. His lyrical timing and cadences, along with the depth, range, and emotional impact of his voice, the natural and buoyant musical flow he was able to achieve, the linguistic artistry and imagination he showed in his art and his approach to life, for me, add up to a near-perfect blend. If great songs are bread and butter for the soul, then Hoyt was the master baker, and his voice was the butter. How do I know? Well, I can tell it by the way that it feels, and it feels good. I think that most great and many aspiring songwriters know and love Hoyt and his work because his songs are such a joy to sing. Surprisingly, though, if you look at his Wikipedia page, there is little there to reflect all this. To be sure, the high points are there, and he is listed as a respected singer-songwriter, and his many movie and TV appearances are noted. His discography and memorable details, hit songs by other artists, etc., are also listed, along with a few links. But for such a great artist, it really seems like just the bare bones of the cow. Boy, I thought, as I looked around for more Hoyt content, it seemed there wasn't much. And there is so much more to the story. It seems like history has, to some degree, forgotten Hoyt's songwriting abilities, and that he was himself a singular character and a force to be reckoned with. We aim to remedy that. His story is littered with glitter, shiny with stars, a veritable who's who of the 1970s and 80s entertainment industry. Famous faces fly out of the wet bar like twizzle sticks and olives. There are strange threads and connections and relationships that are, frankly, a little bizarre. Big names drop like bombshells. Fondas and Spielbergs. Boom! Boom! Cheeches and Chongs. Boom! Boom! Beatles, monkeys, and birds. Boom! 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 They explode like bottle rockets, light up the horizon for a moment, and then are gone. Hoyt was right there in the thick of it, lighting the fuses. From the late 60s explosion of folk, country, and Americana to hippie rock, he wrote the soundtrack to our lives. His tour bus was our tour bus, and his is a story that needs to be told. A fractured fairy tale about an American songwriting giant who was truly as great as they come. He is one of my songwriting heroes, and before we are done here, I hope he will be one of yours too. Along the great highway of American music, there are giant billboards, gaudy with neon and shiny limos that nobody can miss. Hank, Johnny, Waylon, Willie, and Glenn. But behind them are a few dusty, old, half-forgotten motel signs and mile markers amid some broken-down tour buses. We think they are worth remembering, too. We think Hoyt deserves his place in the sun, his own billboard, hopefully a fitting place for him to hang his rusty old halo beside all the other greats, where he belongs. This film will show you why. At least, it'll try.